We've already told you about our favorite bets in the past, but if you are running out of ideas and have been buying rounds again, here are 10 more bets to help you out. You'll always win. Number 10. Get wine or any other liquid into an upside-down glass. Well, if you're going to do a trick in a bar, you might as well get some alcohol involved. For this bet, we're going to attempt to get some wine or any other liquid in a saucer into a glass without lifting the saucer or scooping at or sucking up and spitting out the liquid. After the person you're betting against gives up, all you have to do is grab a box of matches. Place the box of matches in the saucer as shown in light. Now place the wine glass upside down over the matches. The burning flame absorbs the oxygen within the glass, creating a vacuum, which then sucks up all the liquid around it. And now that liquid is inside the glass. Number 9. Lincoln Coin Trick. For this trick, you'll need a penny and at least one person to bet with. If you know your US coins, you'll know that Lincoln is the president on the penny. You're going to bet your friend that no matter how many times you'll flip the coin, that Lincoln is going to turn up 10 times in a row. Impossible. You hear them cry. Particularly if you give control of the coin over to the person you're betting against. It's not a trick coin, and when it's flipped, regardless of which side the coin lands, all you have to do is dispel the secret. The truth is Lincoln is actually on both sides of the penny. The former president is obviously on one side, but on the other, he's just hidden inside the Lincoln Memorial. Number 8. Name the president on the bill. This perfectly winnable bar implies some basic knowledge of US presidents. Assuming you're in the US, you're going to tell your friend that you're going to show them a $10 bill and bet them that they can't name the president on it. They get 10 seconds to stare at it. It's not a trick bill. They can even use their own cash if they insist. Count them down if you like. Now anyone with even a basic knowledge of US history will instantly tell you that it's Alexander Hamilton on the bill, and they would be right. Unfortunately, that doesn't mean they win the bet, as the recent musical theater star was never actually a president. Hamilton only ever made it as far as Secretary of the Treasury. Of course, if someone was to switch that around and ask you to name the president on the bill, Hamilton could also be the right answer. If you allow for the fact that he was president of the Ascot's Club in New York, you see it's all about the wording of this bet. Number 7. Balancing a quarter on a dollar bill. For this bet, we are going to do the impossible once again. We're going to stretch out a bill and place a quarter on the edge of it. The notes has to be standing up and straight, although that doesn't mean we can't bend it first. To do this, all you have to do is take a crisp bill, bend it so there's a crease in it. Then stand that note up so it's slightly bent. Place the quarter on top of it. Now slowly straighten the note until the quarter is sitting perfectly balanced on top of the stretched note. As the note straightens, the quarter will naturally adjust to maintain atop the banknote. It probably won't stay there for long, but it doesn't have to for your bet to be won. Number 6. The Match Trap Riddle. Now for the kind of trick that is sure to set off debates at any bar table. We're going to set up a sort of Mission Impossible type scenario by taking a particularly valuable item, like a coin, or simply a small breath mint and placing it on top of a box of matches. Now we're going to set up a source of makeshift security system. Take 3 matches, place one on top of the mint and 2 leaning against it. So if you've got a sort of pyramid, now you've got to bet your opponent to figure out a way to get the mint without touching any of the matches. The solution is pretty simple, but the person you're betting against most likely won't be able to get it. All you have to do is burn the security system down, set fire to the matches, and the match on top of the mint will magically rise, leaving the precious mint ready to be plucked free. The trick is to have the 2 matches that aren't on top of the mint to be fairly securely positioned, at least partly inside the matchbox, so when they start burning, they will stay in place, and the 3rd match will lift up, making it easy to pick up the mint without touching the matches themselves. Number 5. Rip a napkin in 3. This trick looks remarkably easy. Like any good bar bet, there seems to be no way you could lose this one. Take a napkin, tear it into 3 strips, leaving 2 of the ends barely attached to the bit in the center as shown here. Now challenge your friends to tear off both the strips in one movement, leaving the napkin torn into 3 little pieces. It seems easy, right? It's impossible. You can't apply the same pressure on both sides at the same time, so one side is always going to stay attached to the paper. There is one solution though, and that involves your mouth. Hold on to the 2 pieces as normal and pull the middle free with your mouth, and the bet is won. Number 4. The burning match bet. Now you're going to burn a match and challenge your friend to hold it for as long as they can without burning themselves. You're going to bet your friend you can hold the lip match for 4 times longer than he or she can. There are no gloves involved, no additional trickery. They'll likely hold it upright and bear the pain for a few seconds before giving up, unless they don't mind cooking their fingers. The trick is you don't have to hold the matches. Still circle your hands, and you should be able to hold the match for at least as long as 20 seconds. The movement keeps the flame away from your fingers and stops the match from burning down. Number 3. The olive and glass bet. Now it's time for another sort of puzzle. Take an olive, put 4 matches around it in the shape of a flattened glass as shown. The bet is to get the olive out of the glass, only moving 2 matches and leaving the glass intact. All you have to do is flip the matchstick glass upside down. The solution is surprisingly simple, but it's really difficult for our brains to resolve unless we start literally thinking outside of the box. I mean, glass. Move the match in the middle, ever so slightly to the side, then move the match that is now unattached to the other side of the glass, as shown. You now have a perfectly intact match glass and a free olive. Number 2. Making a paperclip float on water. This time we're going to make a paperclip float on water. It helps if you demonstrate people in advance that paperclips don't actually float on water. Once they give up, all you have to do is show them the importance of water tension, which can only be exploited when the paperclip is lowered onto the water extremely slowly using the help of another paperclip. Break the first paperclip just enough so it can hold the second one, creating a T sort of shape. Now place both gently into the water. The vertical clip will drop, but the second paperclip should lie flat on the water. This is more to do with your fingertips than anything else. When you place your fingers in the water with the paperclip, it breaks the surface tension of the liquid, causing the clip to fall. However, placing it on the water with another paperclip and allows the paperclip to float effortlessly. Number 1. Tear a phone book or a deck of cards in half. Now it's time to break things. We're going to rip up a deck of cards or a phone book. Seems impossible, right? Well, hopefully your betting partner will think so too. There is a solution, and perhaps surprisingly. It involves baking, and no, not the kind that will get your friend high enough to imagine it happening. You're going to cook your phone book or pack of cards for about 40 minutes at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Be aware though, this is incredibly dangerous. If you don't know what you're doing, they are ultimately just paper and could catch a light and cause a fire. So you'll have to keep an eye on whatever you're cooking so that this doesn't happen. Cooking these items will remove any of the moisture in them and make your cards or phone book remarkably brittle. Instead of bending, they'll just snap. It will still require a certain amount of strength to tear them in half. But if you assume a sort of grip like this, it should be much easier after performing this trick in front of your friends. They'll always envy your strength. Let me know in the comments how you fared with each. And if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like it and subscribe to CRAIN, clicking that bell icon to never miss another video. Thanks for watching.